How you doing? How you doing? How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Patty. I appreciate you stopping by today. So we're here to talk about something, and it took me a little while to figure out how I wanted to frame and discuss this video, because that's right, we're covering more stuff we got from CN. But we want to talk about what are the best players in the game. What are the top players in the world doing? How they getting their rating, son? Where's that power coming from? And just to give you an idea, I don't have any screens from the other side of the world or anything like that, but to just kind of take you through how we're looking at this and putting all this together. If we go up to rank and we look at some of the top people on our side, just to give you an idea in the difference, top person in global right now on my server, S1, dude's at 438,000. To give you a point of reference, on the CN side, the top player on the server I looked at was at almost 100,000. They're 12,000 away from being at, sorry, a million rating. So we're gonna talk about their stats and everything like that. But I want to walk you through using rank on this side to show you where we're getting those numbers, how we're putting all this together, and what's left out and what little bit of room we're not able to say 100% where all this is coming from. So let's do a little walkthrough. So if we look up in this top corner over here, we see that their top rating is 438,000. So we can go through and look at a couple of different places. If you come up and click on the little eye for his fancy title, we can see how much total beauty he has and the fact that he's giving 17,000 rating from this. If you go through and look at some of this, you can see that we're getting rating from these, not that. But like, EX getting a little bit. There's a couple K, like, yeah, 2.5K coming from the refinement. But really, we start getting into it once we start going through these other tabs here on the side. So we can see he's getting almost 200,000 from his motor. Pets giving him a solid 13K. Allies are giving him almost a solid 60K. His cores giving him a good old 23K. And from his gear enhancements, he's getting almost 40K. So essentially, what I went through and did, don't mean to keep closing out of that completely. I would go through and take whatever the top number was and then start going through all these other ones to see what we're left off with. So now let's talk about our boy in CN. So these numbers are a little nuts. So the grand total is 988,299. All right. So from his motor, and I did my best to organize these and where he's getting the most rating from. So this is almost a little like, how to whale guide too, because this will tell you exactly where you can get the most rating to pump up your score. And then, towards the end of it, we'll talk a little bit about what this all means in terms of progression and what things you should focus on. So right off the bat, the motor from this dude on CN is 345,000. Okay. That's the biggest chunk by far out of things that he's getting from everything else. Well, how is he doing that? He's got like 29 motors, and all of them are leveled, like just about all of them are leveled up to the top one. I think he maybe had like 3 that were in the second to last tier. But that's a lot. That's a lot, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look at motor real fast. So you can kind of see where some of this is coming from. A lot of it is going to be, from paint stuff, from the little modifications, but really it's coming from all the motors being leveled up as high as they can be. So that is by far the place to whale the hardest to get the most rating. Now, should everyone and their mother run out and only put any of their resources into motor? No. You miss a lot of other stuff. You need your core up to plus 10 and all that stuff. While you can get more rating from motor than anything else in the game, clearly, you don't get the crazy effects that a lot of the other things you get from doing it. So there's a lot you would miss out on between pets, allies, equipment upgrades in your core that you need as a foundation before it's time to just whale out in Motorland. All right. So this next one might surprise a few people. It caught me a little bit off guard. But you want to know what the second most rating they're getting? It's from the allies. Homie is getting 105,000 rating from his allies. And also, real quick, just to touch on some of the stuff that we're seeing on the CN side in terms of what are the most used allies, what are the top allies. Pretty consistently, it's, 3 versions of Eerie, Ming, or Love Story Luminous. That's pretty much it. I see Ming more off. You'll also see 2 versions of Eerie, and then a Luminous, and then a Ming. So those are top tier. I'm a little sad because a lot of people fed me information from the CN side that Ming wasn't as good, wasn't as important, and yet I still see him on every single top team. So you lied to me about my boy. I love my boy Ming, okay? He ain't never going away. But I am really surprised from seeing Eerie pop up, and I see that after you get her fully advanced and everything, one of the skills that she gets actually increases your crit damage, which is not anywhere else in the game that I've seen. I could be wrong on that, but I definitely understand why people are stacking Eerie's over on CN side. So just a little point of reference for you guys. Maybe those aren't too bad. But yeah, 105,000 rating. That's insane. That's insane. Motor's a little crazier, but that's still, whew, boy. And again, with me just getting caught off guard by how these are all ordering out. But you want to know what the third is? You want to know what took number 3? Who's the dude, biting the thing, bop, bop, bop. We all know the meme I'm going for right now. It's Beauty. Homie is getting 85,000 rating from Beauty. This I started to see a couple of weeks ago on our side. I saw some people that had incredibly high Beauty and were getting tens of thousands of stats from it. So, for you whales out there, yeah, Beauty does a decent job. I can see why some of you are dropping money on that now. I'm not going to do it. I don't recommend anyone to do it, but if y'all going to do it, that's how you doing it, apparently. So good for y'all. All right, so next piece that we're coming up with is equipment. I'm surprised that this fell where it did. But all in all, I can, it's at a respectable spot. You get this top person on CN is getting 71,000 rating from their equipment. Now, we're not that far on this side for our top person, but the weapon effects and everything is part of what makes leveling this up super effective. Between this and the core and the pets, honestly, because some of the pet skills once you start getting them can be pretty gross. So nothing to shake your head at right there. So let me pull up my other thing real quick. Yeah, your homie's got notepads. All right, so equipment's giving us a 71,000. It's gross. Next up in line is gonna be pet. Okay, and that's coming in at 67,000. I feel like a lot of people overlook the benefits of your pet. Once your pet is fully evolved into its final form, you're getting 30% of their stats converted to your own. Once you start getting into the purple and orange skills for them, you really get some nice benefit from those guys. So it's interesting, to see it right there. And then the one that surprises me probably the most, and I want to dig into why I think this is in a second, but last one that we're able to find information on and confirm how much rating that they're getting from is Core for 48,000. Now, this doesn't really encompass the fact that, by hitting the different tiers and everything with your Core, you get the weapon effects, level 10. On the CN side, they're all level 15 runes, and that's just gross. I'm not sure what they're getting from having level 15 across the board, but this is all my advice to new players still has not changed at all. You need to get your core up to at least +7 before you start working on other things. So some of these numbers I feel like are a little misleading, because the raw stats you get out of like things like motor is absolutely gross. The amount that you have to spend to get there is also a very gross amount. I don't want to know how much the dude on CN side has spent to get almost 1 million rating. I would probably be able to record a 15-minute video of me just dry heaving and puking. It's just not, no, I can't do it. So I don't think rating always captures 100% of the benefit that you're getting from something. So, your pets are giving you this much rating, based on the fact that they're giving you these stats, right? All right, well, what about the fact where randomly the pet is, giving your player a big boost of, whatever stat you have the skill set to? Is that instantly translated into rating? No, but is it impactful to the game design and how your character's performing? Yes. So don't always take rating as 100% gospel, because there's bits that it leaves out. It's not a complete picture. And speaking of not complete pictures, so after doing all the math and subtracting everything that we were able to see from this guy's total rating against everything we're able to confirm the numbers on, we still have 265,000 missing rating, that I can't really confirm where it's coming from. There's probably a dozen places that's coming from that you're not able to see on the rank screen. I don't believe that all the gear on the left side is being added up into anything. When we talked about the gear score before, it was for the gear enhancements. So do I have some theories on where that missing 265,000 is? Yeah. But it's not. I'd have a hard time believing that it's just the gear on the left side. There's no way that you're getting that much from all of these. So there has to be several missing puzzle pieces to this. If anyone wants to try and I don't think without, being a top player yourself and being able to come in here and look at, your rank tabs and everything like that, and then tracking down all that stuff manually, and then telling the rest of us, I don't know how we can get, that granular detail, because I don't believe that we can look at, say, ourselves on here the same way. Yeah, because it only really works for people up at the top from what I see. If you have any ideas on how we can try and chase down the last of that information so we can get as close to accurate of knowing what the top players are prioritizing and where they're getting all their stats from, your boy would love to know, and I'd appreciate you. But we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up here. I just kind of wanted to touch on some of the stats and stuff that we're seeing from the CN side. Just because the information was super interesting to me. And I think it, can help us on the global side, but there's also, we shouldn't just blindly go, oh, okay, motor's where you can get the absolute most from. I'm just sinking everything into that. I think you would miss out on things that you need as a player if you did that. So that's my little cautionary tale. You guys do whatever it is that you want to do with this information, but your boy just wanted to share it and let you know. Thank you so much. I appreciate your faces. You're going to catch your boy on the next one. And we out of here, deuces.